These three very important concepts makes blockchain very impossible to be tampered with. These concepts are transactions, blocks, and hashes. Understand this concept today and you will understand the most important concept behind every cryptocurrency. So, when we send cryptocurrencies, a lot happens behind. And if we understand what is actually transpiring when we send and receive cryptocurrencies, we will understand the foundation of every cryptocurrency. You are welcome once more to the MDB Crypto Academy. Here we make understanding cryptocurrency very easy for everyone, for beginners. So, in our previous lesson, we spoke about blockchain. We explained what blockchain was actually about. We discussed about the history of blockchain. But understanding just this is just the beginning. It's just the beginning to understanding the entire concept that powers cryptocurrencies. So, the bigger question now is how does blockchain works? How does this concept actually work? How does the blockchain technology works in powering cryptocurrencies? So, like I was saying, every time we send and receive cryptocurrencies, three vital things happens behind the scenes. These three concepts happen behind the scene, and it's very important and vital for us to understand these concepts so that we will know what is actually happening when we send and receive Bitcoin. Given the fact that these transactions are not mediated by a third party, the government is not controlling these transactions, and no company is actually a sole controller of these transactions. So it's very important for us to understand this concept. And these concepts are, I repeat again, we have transactions. There has to be a transaction. We have blocks and we have hashes. So in this lesson, we are going to be breaking this down for a step by step for everyone to understand what transactions are, what blocks are on the blockchain technology, and what are hashes. So you stay with me on this one because we are going to be breaking this down in every bit for everyone to understand. So, what is a blockchain transaction? A blockchain transaction simply is the recording of information on the blockchain network. A recording of information on a blockchain network. So when someone sends, let's say Bitcoin, to another person, the person is simply creating a transaction, and every transaction carries vital details like the sender's wallet address. Let's say I'm the sender, the receiver's wallet address, the amount of coins to be sent, like amount of Bitcoin to be sent, the time of the transaction, and the most important, a digital signature to prove that the sender has approved this transaction. So when I initiate a transaction, for example, I want to send somebody 1 Bitcoin, the person sends to me the wallet address. I copy that wallet address to my wallet. I send this 1 Bitcoin via that address given to me. I simply initiated a transaction. So information coded behind that transaction includes my wallet address as the sender, the wallet address of the receiver, the time of the transaction, and the amount I sent. then a signature to indicate that I approve this transaction. Sending does not mean that that transaction is automatically verified and is already created on the blockchain. No, it's not yet recorded on the blockchain. That transaction has to be verified. And how is a transaction verified if banks are not there to approve those transactions? The government is not there to verify this transaction. No companies verifies this transaction. So how then is this transaction being verified? This transaction is simply verified by sending a copy of this transaction that I initiated. A copy of it is sent to thousands of interconnected computers that we call them nodes. This nodes provider, they verify three key things. First, they verify if I, the sender, have sufficient funds. They verify if actually I own this Bitcoin I want to send. They verify if they verify if this transaction is authentic. And finally, they verify if this Bitcoin I want to send to somebody, have I spent it before? Maybe this is to avoid fraudulent activity, to make sure I haven't spent this Bitcoin before and I'm still trying to deceive somebody by initiating a transaction. So once these transactions are verified and they are termed as authentic, they now await what we call the creation of a block. The creation of a block. Now, let's understand a block. Let's understand what a block is. What is a block? A block simply is a digital container, like I earlier defined yesterday in our previous lesson. A block is a digital container that stores a group of verified transactions. So, think of a block like, let's take for example, a record page. In a record page, transactions are being recorded. Transactions are being recorded per page. Transactions are recorded. Every transaction is recorded per page. But what blockchain does is blockchain groups, it classify and organize this transaction into a group. And this group is called a block. In every block, what I meant is every block contains the transaction of, a group of verified transactions. Yeah, every block contains a group of verified transactions. Every block is assigned a unique hash. A hash is like a digital identity to it. Every block is linked to the previous block. Once a block is created, is linked to the previous block that was already formed. So inside a block, it contains a group of verified transactions. That block is assigned a verified hash. And those hash those hash can be verified per block and they cannot be altered by anybody. Nobody can modify those hash. And now the block is linked to the previous one. The block also contains the hash number of the previous block. This is to avoid someone entering into a block and modifying the block. Once you modify a single block, the entire information of that chain is altered and hence exposing that transaction. So you see how secure a blockchain functions. Once these blocks are formed and they are verified, they are linked to the previous one. It is recorded on the blockchain permanently, forever. Nobody alters it, nobody changes it. Hence, leading to this name, Blockchain. What then is a hash? What then is a transaction hash? A transaction hash is a unique fingerprint, a unique digital fingerprint that contains information inside a block. A unique digital fingerprint that is generated from information inside a block. So, no two blocks carries the same hash. Every block carries its own unique hash, and these hash are different. They differ. These hash are simply here to link a block to another in a very secure manner, in such a way that information inside these blocks cannot be altered. If somebody tempers to alter information inside a block, a particular block on a blockchain, let's say you target a single block to alter information inside that block, first the transaction hash is going to be changed, and once a transaction hash changes, it's no longer part of that transaction, and hence the entire chain is going to be broken. And if it was a fraudulent activity, you will discover that you have been exposed without even starting. So these hash are very unique per block. Each block, once a block has gathered a group of verified transactions, these transactions are verified. This block has been formed, is recorded on the blockchain network. Then a hash is generated. This hash is a digital fingerprint or a digital signature that protects or carries information of that block. So you see how secure the blockchain is to be tampered with. Blockchain is very secure. Like I earlier said to you, blockchain is secure because these informations can be verified. These hashes that are created can be verified on a public chain. Anybody can verify and see the information inside those blocks. You can see those transactions. You can actually see those transactions. Anybody that can access the internet can verify these transactions, but then they cannot alter these transactions. They cannot alter this transaction. Even the node provider that verify this transaction, a single node provider cannot change the information inside a block. That seems almost impossible. So vividly, let's rush it down for about today's class. Let's see what actually transpired when it comes to operating on the blockchain. First, a transaction is created. The person sending the coins, a transaction is created. This transaction is verified. Once this transaction is verified, it is added to a block. This transaction is added to a block. A block is simply the container we are saying. It's just a container that contains a group of verified transactions. So this transaction is added to a block, and this block is assigned a unique hash. This unique hash now comes in as a security to secure this block. Then this block is linked to the previous one. As this block is being linked to the previous one, it also contains its hash and the hash of the previous block. And hence, this is what we call the blockchain technology. This is how transactions are taking place. We are going to get to a point where we'll be doing transactions. It happens in a very few seconds. I copy your address, I send you coins, you receive immediately. This verification are done in few seconds. So when you start sending and receiving cryptocurrencies, you have to understand that what is running behind is the three key concepts we are discussing about today, which are transactions, blocks, and hashes. So I hope you learned something from today's lesson and you also enjoyed your ride with me. Please, if you are enjoying our lesson so far, I will encourage you also subscribe to the channel, you share, you invite your friends. Let's learn together. Yeah, let's learn together. We are getting deep into cryptocurrency, and in our next lesson we are going to discuss about hash in details. We are also going to discuss about some types of blockchains. We are going to see the different types of blockchains and how they function. So I will see you on the next one, and until then, you stay blessed.